Alright, Miss Squeaky voice better not be in there.
I always like to
Mine's
teach the lesson first and then, okay. I'm filming. Okay, circumference and pi. The Greeks were the first ones to discover, at least that we know of in writing, that no matter what the size of the circle, there was always, and I can make it bigger. Let's make it smaller also. No matter what the size of the circle, the circumference of it remember what circumference is?
Yeah, it's the thing, the distance around it, the perimeter.
It's the distance, if I were to open this circle up, that distance, the circumference, or the perimeter of the circle, divided by its diameter. Do you remember what diameter is?
Yeah, the distance. No.
The diameter,
It's how long it is side to side?
from side to side but passing through the center, okay? It's important that it has to pass through the center. This is the diameter. And the diameter is made up of two radiuses, right? Two radii, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember what radius is?
Yeah.
Radius is that distance from the
From
center
the center to one side.
to the one side. Okay. So no matter what the size of the circle, the circumference divided by the diameter always gave you the same exact number. We now know, thanks to, I think it was Euler, a mathematician, scientist from the 16th century, I think he is. He named it, he knew it was the Greeks that discovered this relationship. He named it with a Greek letter. And since Euler, it's been called what, guys?
Pi.
Pi. So now you know that pi is the relationship between the circumference and the diameter, okay? That ratio is always exactly the same. So if I want to find out, if I have the diameter, let's say that it's 10, and I know pi is a given number, we know how much pi is, how do I find the circumference? Well, I go to my relationship and I notice that I want to find c, right?
Yes.
So I leave c by itself. How do I leave c by itself? What do I have to multiply?
D and
On both sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that this one goes away and c is by itself. So the circumference would be pi times the diameter. Do you agree?
Yes.
And we know the diameter is twice r. Don't we know that? It's 2 times the radius. So circumference can also be written as pi 2 pi r. Right? Where d is the diameter and r is the radius. These two will give you the same exact result. Which one do you use? Well, it depends what you have. If you have the diameter, you use this one. If you have the radius, you use this one. Okay? So how are you going to do it? Well, they're going to give you the information. They're going to say, the radius of a circle is 5 centimeters. So they give you, you draw the circle, you put the radius, which is 5 centimeters. How do you draw a radius? You put a little dot in the middle, and you put a little arrow that touches the outside of the circle. So you know that that's a 5 centimeters. Do you have to draw the circle? Yes. What is the circumference? Well, if you have the radius, would you use this one or this one?
The second one.
The second one. So you write the formula first so that I know that you know what you're doing.
Wait, but what is 2 pi?
I don't get it.
I understand the other one, but I don't understand 2.
Why is 2r? Because 2r diameter is twice the radius. So instead of diameter, I put 2r.
But what do you say? Like what if you're reading that problem? Like circumference equals then what do you say? Because
You write the formula down. The information that the problem gives you is that you have a circle with a radius of 5.
no, like what I mean is the one above that C equals pi D. You would say like
These are
C equals
formulas
pi
that you put in your notebook, and you will always use them. They're formulas. Do you know what a formula is?
yes.
It's a recipe. The recipe that you follow, okay? So, since this one, they give you the radius. So out of the two recipes, which one are you going to use? This one or this one?
Bottom one.
The bottom one. So you write it, you copy it. Why do you copy it? So that next year, you will have memorized it and you don't need your notebook anymore. That's why I make you write it, okay? You don't memorize it, it's fine. You have it in your notebook, you can look at it, okay? But you always have to write it first so that whoever's reading your homework knows what it is that you're doing, okay? You know 2 pi is a number. Pi is a number. How much is pi?
3.14 blah blah blah.
What is r? Do we know the
Radius.
radius? Do we know it for this circle in particular?
Yes.
How much is it?
5.
So instead of r, I put 5. So now I do 2 times 5?
10.
10 pi centimeters. Do you leave it like that? No, you give me a second answer. I'm going to need 2 answers. Circumference will be 10 times 3.14.
31.4 centimeters.
31.4 centimeters. These two are your answers. Is that clear? But then the Greeks kept going and they thought, okay, circumference is cool, but we need to know the area of a circle. And after much debate and thinking and everything, they noticed that pi was also the relationship between the area of the circle and the square of its radius. They gave him the same exact answer. So what would the area of a circle be? Well, same procedure. You find out, you want to leave the a by itself, so you multiply times r squared on both sides. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
And this goes away. Don't copy that yet, because that's just an explanation. This would be pi r squared. And that is the formula for the area of a circle. So if I ask you to find the area of this circle, what would you do? First you copy the formula that you're going to use so that whoever reads the paper knows what you're doing. And then you put pi, how much is r? 5. Squared. This is a letter, okay? So you put 25, that's 5 squared, pi, centimeters, square centimeters, because it's area, right? It's area plus you have centimeters squared here. And then you give me the other one, which would be 25 times 3.14, I don't know how much that is, but it's 70, can you do that please? 78.83. 53 square centimeters. Again, 2 answers. One with pi and one without pi. Why do I want that answer with pi? Because the answer with pi is exact. You know that it's that relationship. Pi, to this day, has more than 1 billion digits after the decimal. And it's still going. Why is it still going? Because it's an irrational number. So it's never going to stop. It has infinite numbers after the decimal. Which is why when you leave it as pi, it's exact. When you put this, it's an approximation. Is that clear?
Wait, but if you leave it with pi, then that means that it's an infinite number?
Uh-huh. But an exact one. Because pi represents that relationship between the area and radius, or circumference and diameter. Okay? So, are we good on this? Questions? Do you always have to draw the circle? Yes. Do you always have to write the formula that you're
Yes.
using? Yes. Do you work downwards? Yes. You tell me A for area, C for circumference. You should be used to that by now, okay?
What do? Oh, never mind.
Questions?
Can we
You
go to
good?
the bathroom?
Yes.